Have you ever felt exhausted, but sleep doesn't fix it? You wake up tired, move through your day tired, and go to bed tired, but your mind never truly rests. You're still functioning, still showing up, still pushing forward, but inside, something feels heavy, slow, drained, and numb. You tell yourself, I just need to try harder. But what if the problem isn't effort? What if it's burnout? Burnout doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it disguises itself as laziness, lack of motivation, or emotional flatness. And most people don't realize they're burned out until their body, mind, or emotions force them to stop. In today's world of constant pressure, endless notifications, academic stress, career competition, financial strain, and emotional overload, burnout has become one of the most common silent health crises. But the good news is this: burnout is reversible. Your brain can reset, your nervous system can heal, your energy can return. In this video, we're going to explore burnout, exhaustion, and mental reset strategies through science, psychology, real-life experience, and practical tools you can start using immediately. You'll learn how burnout forms, how it affects your brain and body, how to recognize early warning signs, and how to recover without quitting your life. By the end, you'll have clarity, hope, and a concrete plan to restore your energy, motivation, focus, and emotional balance. Welcome to the channel. Today's topic is burnout, exhaustion, and mental reset strategies, how to recover before you break. Let's begin what burnout really is. Burnout is not weakness. Burnout is not laziness. Burnout is not failure. Burnout is a neurological, emotional, and physiological response to prolonged stress without adequate recovery. Psychologists define burnout as a state of emotional exhaustion, mental detachment, and reduced sense of accomplishment caused by chronic overload. It doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, invisibly, until your brain and nervous system reach capacity. Unlike ordinary tiredness, burnout doesn't go away after a weekend of rest or a few good nights of sleep. Burnout affects motivation, memory, emotional regulation, focus, creativity, and even physical health. Brain imaging studies show that chronic stress shrinks areas responsible for disciplining, emotional balance, and impulse control, while amplifying threat and fear responses. In other words, burnout literally changes how your brain functions, but the brain is also capable of healing. Burnout is not permanent damage. It's a warning signal, asking for restoration. And restoration does not mean quitting your life. It means changing how your nervous system is treated. Early warning signs of burnout. Burnout doesn't begin with collapse. It begins with subtle changes that are easy to ignore. You feel constantly tired, even after rest, and no longer feel refreshed in the morning. Tasks that used to feel manageable now feel overwhelming, heavy, or emotionally draining. You procrastinate, not because you're lazy, but because your brain feels overloaded and frozen. You feel detached from your work, studies, relationships, or passions, not because you don't care, but because caring feels exhausting. Your patience shortens, your tolerance drops. Small things feel irritating or unbearable. You experience brain fog, forgetfulness, indecision, and difficulty concentrating. Emotionally, you may feel numb, hopeless, flat, cynical, or disconnected from yourself. Physically, burnout may show up as headaches, muscle tension, digestive issues, weakened immunity, sleep problems, or chest tightness. Burnout is your nervous system saying, I cannot sustain this pace anymore. Why burnout is so common today. Modern life keeps your nervous system in constant activation mode. Emails, notifications, deadlines, exams, financial stress, family responsibilities, social pressure, world news. Your brain rarely gets true rest. Even relaxation often comes with stimulation, screens, scrolling, binge watching, multitasking. Your nervous system never fully powers down, and over time, that creates exhaustion at a cellular level. Psychologists call this chronic stress load, and it's one of the strongest predictors of burnout. High achievers, caregivers, students, healthcare workers, teachers, parents, entrepreneurs, and perfectionists are especially vulnerable. Ironically, the most responsible, driven, compassionate people often burn out first because they push themselves hardest and rest least. Burnout is not about being weak. It's about being human in an inhuman pace system. And because burnout develops gradually, most people normalize exhaustion until collapse forces awareness. That's why early recognition and proactive recovery matter more than waiting for crisis. What burnout does to your brain. Under chronic stress, your brain prioritizes survival over creativity, focus, joy, and long-term planning. The amygdala, the threat detection center, becomes hyperactive, while the prefrontal cortex, responsible for reasoning, emotional regulation, and decision-making, becomes underactive. This creates emotional reactivity, mental fatigue, poor impulse control, and difficulty thinking clearly. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, remains elevated, disrupting sleep, digestion, immunity, and emotional balance. Over time, dopamine pathways become dysregulated, reducing motivation, pleasure, and reward sensitivity. This explains why burnout feels like, I don't care anymore. I can't start. I feel empty. I'm tired of everything. But here's the hopeful part. The brain is plastic. With the right conditions, neural pathways regenerate, balance returns, and energy recovers. Burnout is not permanent damage. It's a warning signal asking for restoration. And restoration begins with safety, not pressure. Recovery starts when your nervous system stops feeling under threat. Stage 1, stop the energy leaks. Recovery from burnout begins with identifying where your energy is leaking. Energy leaks include constant multitasking, overcommitment, emotional labor without boundaries, negative self-talk, unresolved stress, and lack of rest. Most burnout sufferers are not doing too little. They are doing too much without recovery. The first intervention is not adding productivity, it's subtracting overload. Ask yourself, what drains me that doesn't nourish me? Even small reductions in unnecessary stress dramatically reduce nervous system strain. This might mean fewer commitments, shorter work hours, fewer social obligations, fewer screen hours, or fewer perfectionistic standards. Recovery begins when your nervous system stops receiving constant threat signals. This is not quitting, it's recalibrating. Restoration requires space before effort. Not all rest restores the nervous system. Scrolling, binge watching, and passive stimulation often keep the brain in alert mode, not recovery mode. True restorative rest activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's healing state. This includes sleep, stillness, nature, exposure, slow breathing, meditation, gentle movement, silence, and emotional safety. Sleep is foundational. Chronic sleep deprivation alone can mimic burnout symptoms. Prioritize consistent sleep times, dark rooms, reduced screen exposure before bed, and nervous system calming routines. Even 10 minutes of intentional rest daily reduces cortisol, and improves emotional regulation. Your nervous system doesn't need luxury, it needs consistency. Rest is not laziness. Rest is biological repair. Without restoration, motivation cannot return. Stage 3. Reset the nervous system. Burnout recovery is fundamentally nervous system regulation, not mindset alone. Breathing exercises that slow exhalation, activate the vagus nerve, and calm stress circuits. Grounding techniques such as sensory awareness, cold water on the face, or barefoot walking reduce anxiety and mental overload. Movement that feels safe, slow, and enjoyable resets stress hormones more effectively than intense workouts during burnout. Emotional safety, feeling seen, heard, supported, and understood is one of the strongest nervous system regulators. Isolation worsens burnout. Connection heals it. Talking openly about exhaustion reduces shame and nervous system threat responses. Burnout thrives in silence. Recovery thrives in safety. You don't need to be strong alone. You need to be supported wisely. Regulation precedes motivation. Stage 4. Rebuild energy, focus, and motivation. Once your nervous system stabilizes, energy returns, but gradually, not instantly. Burnout recovery is non-linear. Some days feel better. Some days feel heavy again. This is normal. Start small. Tiny actions rebuild dopamine and confidence faster than large goals. Instead of finish everything, aim for start something. Instead of perfection, aim for progress. Structure reduces cognitive load. Visual schedules, written plans, and simple routines reduce decision fatigue. Compassionate self-talk, replacing self-criticism with supportive language, rewires emotional regulation pathways. You perform better when you feel safer, not when you feel pressured. Burnout is healed not by intensity, but by gentleness. Motivation grows from restoration, not force. Practical mental reset exercises. Here are simple tools that accelerate burnout recovery. First, 5-minute daily journaling. Prompt: what drained me today? What restored me today? Second, weekly energy audit. Write to lists, energy drainers and energy givers. Reduce one drainer, add one giver. Third, compassion script. Replace "I'm failing" with "I'm overwhelmed, and that makes sense." Fourth, nervous system reset breath. Inhale for seconds. Exhale 6 seconds. Repeat for 5 minutes. Fifth, sensory grounding. Name 5 things you see, 4 you feel, 3 you hear, 2 you smell, 1 you taste. Sixth, emotional permission. Let yourself rest without guilt, justification, or explanation. Small, consistent resets outperform massive, occasional ones. Recovery is not about fixing yourself. It's about supporting yourself correctly. Burnout doesn't mean you're broken. It means you've been strong for too long without rest. Burnout is not the end. It's a signal that your mind, body, and nervous system deserve care, safety, rest, and compassion. You don't need to become someone new. You need to return to yourself. If this video helped you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need it. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one coping strategy that helps you when you feel overwhelmed or burned out? Your voice matters, and this community heals together.